When it comes to editing your photos on your mobile phone, there are generally two apps that I use. One is Lightroom and the other is Snapseed. Lightroom, I pay for the subscription, mainly because I use it across all my platforms. Snapseed is dead free, and you probably already know that, but the main thing that I like about Lightroom over Snapseed is the availability to do the presets. Well, I've worked out that you can do presets on Snapseed, and I'm going to show you how to do it in this video. Make sure you stick around at the end. I'm actually going to give you 3 of the presets that I use for my photos. Let's get into it. G'day guys, Shane Mostyn here. On this channel we talk all about photography with small sensors. That is mobile phones, action cameras, drones, iPads, all those sorts of things, and I bring you 2 videos every week. So if you're into that sort of photography, it's definitely worth subscribing to this channel. If you're new here, check out the description below. It'll give you links to everything that we're talking about here today. So what are we talking about? We're talking about presets through Snapseed. We're going to talk about what presets are, how to create your own, how to save your own, how to share your own, and how to load presets that others have shared with you. All right, where are we today? This place here is called Reedy Lagoon. It's a pretty cool spot out here. There's a lot of flowers out here. All these flowers, they're weeds. They're just bloody weeds. It looks pretty nice for photos, but that's about it. This place is not that far from where we live. That way is the Murray River, and on the other side of that is New South Wales. Now, I'm not going to tell everyone to suck eggs. If you know how to edit photos in Snapseed, fill your boots. Down the bottom of this video, there'll be chapters across the side there, and each one of them will be named accordingly. But if you're someone who wants to have a look around the neighbourhood here and see some animals, see the wildlife that's around here, stay tuned.
Stop me from dusting off my shoes. You might think you'll see me falling to the ground, but I threw up my umbrella when rain starts hitting down. Yeah, on a bad day, on a good day, I don't need no sunshine.
What we're learning here today is presets in Snapseed. So we're going to teach you how to make your own preset, what presets are, how to save your own preset, how to share your preset with other people, and how to load presets that others have given you, like I'm going to give you at the end of this video. So what is a preset? Well, a preset is, well, let's think about when you take a photo and you're going to edit that photo. You put that photo into your editing app. You adjust the brightness, the contrast, the saturation, bring out the shadows. You might sharpen it up a little bit. You might add a vignette. You might do all sorts of things. So you export that photo, done, sweet, happy with that look. Then you take another photo, bring it in, adjust the sharpness, adjust the contrast, adjust the exposure, brightness, contrast, all those sorts of things again, white balance, all that, and it takes a bloody long time. But if you could do all that with the click of a button, that's what a preset is. The click of a button to apply all of those settings. So in Snapseed, they're called looks. Looks are somewhat more intuitive and much more sophisticated than the things that you get in, say, something like Instagram, where you just got a filter that goes across the whole thing. But they're a lot easier to use than, say, Photoshop or Lightroom, because it's Snapseed. They're just so easy to use. All right then, so how do we create a preset? First, let's take a photo and we'll edit it. All right. That photo I've just taken, it's a really high contrast photo. And it's fairly typical of the sort of photo that you'll take with a phone on a day where the sky is quite bright. It's overcast today, but it's a lot brighter up there than what it is down here. So this sort of photo is perfect for a preset. So how do you actually create a preset? First of all, you need to take a photo, edit that photo, and the way that you're going to save it will save all those settings that you've just done. So it's going to vary from Android to iOS, and I'll explain the differences when we get to those. But first, let's have a look at a photo. I'm going to open up Snapseed, and we'll open up the photo of Sarah that we took yesterday. So yesterday we actually came out to this location, we walked around that track, and on the way back down towards the car, we found these poppies, and it was a pretty cool spot. The poppies are unusual for here, also a weed, and anyway, Sarah stood over there and I took a photo of her. So what I'll do here is I'll do a quick edit on this. Go into Tools, go to Tune Image. I'm going to decrease the contrast a little bit, increase the ambience, increase the warmth. That looks quite good. Hit the tick on that, go to Tools, go to Details, and I'll increase the structure and increase the sharpening. That looks pretty good. I will go to Tools again, go to White Balance and increase the white balance, and I'm going to increase the tint to leave it more of a magenta sort of style. And I'll hit the tick on that. Now, this is where it varies between the two devices. On an iOS device, you go in, if you want to save this look as something, go into Looks, scroll all the way to the right hand side, and you can see the plus symbol there. You can add that preset right there, and you can give it a name and call it whatever you like. I would suggest that you call it for the situation that it calls for. So for example, this one of Sarah, I've called it Nature Portrait. So it's skin tones in amongst natural sort of lighting and natural sort of color. You might have some that are high contrasting sunsets, and that's one of the presets that I'll give you at the end of this video to use when you're photographing into the sun and the foreground is really high contrast. You might have somebody there and you want to bring out the shadows and so forth in that image. So name the preset what it's actually going to be used for. I find that very helpful. If you've got an Android device, it's different. You make that changes that you want to do, hit the square at the top with the undo button, and down there you'll have Save Look. That's the two differences, Save Look and adding a look in the menu down the bottom. All right, so that's how you create a look with Snapseed. What if you want to share that with somebody? Say you've got a friend or somebody else in your workspace and you look after, say, the company's social media accounts, and you want to create the same sort of look across all of your platforms with your photography. This is the way you do it. So you need to be able to work out a way to share that preset or that look with other people. And the way we do that with Snapseed is with a QR code. You know what a QR code? It looks like that. So once you're in Snapseed and you've done the edit just like we talked about, you go to up the top where it's got the squares and the undo button, and down the bottom of that it says QR look. When you go into that, before we get into that, you need to make sure that Snapseed has permissions from your device to use the camera, because that's how the QR codes are scanned. So go to the undo button up the top, go to QR look, and then you've got create QR look. Once you hit on that, it's going to give you this little graphic with the QR code, a little image behind it to show you that's how, it's like a visual reminder of how you created that QR code. Once you share that, you can share it on any platform, email, it's just a JPEG image. It's as simple as that. That is how you share the QR code. All right, let's say somebody has sent you a QR code for this look. How do you do it? It's dead set simple. Open up Snapseed with the photo that you've just taken, go up to the undo button, go to QR look, and scan QR look. When you do that, you use the camera, it'll scan onto that QR look, and bam, there's your preset, and it applies it straight away for you automatically. How good is that? If you want to save that QR look that you've just scanned, you go back to step one. Go, if you're an Android person, go up the top, hit the redo button or undo button, and go down to Save Look. If you're an iOS person, that is on your Apple iPhone, go to the bottom to Looks, scroll all the way to the right-hand side and hit the plus button and add that look. It is dead set simple. Never before have I thought that you could do this with Snapseed. It's bloody brilliant. And if you're new to photography and you're new to editing photography, editing the photos that you've taken, presets can be a really, really helpful tool to get you started with editing. So for example, I took this photo here of these cows, and I'll link the video at the top here of how I actually did this edit. But I took the photo of these cows, and iPhones are really good for sunset photos, but they're also really bad to pick up that shadows in the foreground when you've got a person, or in this case here, cows, in the foreground. So if you've got something that happens like this all the time and you're taking photos of sunsets all the time, and the edit that you do is very similar, it's definitely worthwhile creating a preset to do just that. Now when it comes to these cows, I've actually created the preset that creates this photo right here. This is one of the 3 presets that I'm giving away today. All you need to do is go over to phonephotoschool.com.au and go down the bottom and subscribe to get this free ebook. The ebook is going to give you 6 tips to create more creative photos with your phone. When you do this, you'll automatically be redirected to a page on my website that's going to have the 3 scanning codes, 3 QR codes for you to scan with your device, and bam, you'll have your own presets straight away as free from me. Enjoy. All right guys, that's it for today. I'll see you next week.
Shine.